Okay, we're good to go.
All righty. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I would like to call the Hammond Redevelopment Commission meeting to order on this Tuesday, April 6, 2021. It is now 4:33. Our meeting will begin. Can we get a roll call on tonight's commissioners?
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Here.
Myricks,
Here.
Hopperidge.
Here. For the record, all 5 are present. Thank you. Number 2, declaration of conflict of interest. Okay. Number 3, communications.
Commissioner, we received 2 communications. One is from Mr. Samuel Cervantes. He is the owner of 10 Rimbach, and he's interested in purchasing the vacant lot next to him at 8 Rimbach Street. So that is in your packet. And then we received another one today that I emailed to everybody, and it is from Mr. Otilio Murillo, and he's interested in 4548 Holman Avenue. He owns a barbershop next door to it, and he provided also a letter to the commission.
Okay. I don't think we need to have a vote. Just for the record, we received these and just refer them to staff. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be in contact. Staff will be in contact with these.
Yes. All right. Thank you. All right. Number 4 is minutes. We got 3 dates here: February 16th, 2021, March 2nd, 2021, and March 16th, 2021.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes for February 16th, March 2nd, and March 16th.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for our minutes dating as listed there: February 16th, 2021, March 2nd, 2021, and March 16th, 2021. Is there any further discussion on these minutes? Okay, roll call then, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 5 is a homebound conditional forgivable loan for Amy Nohouse at 7211 Tennessee Avenue. Also looks like she is a teacher.
Commissioners, we're just seeking approval for the homebound conditional forgivable loan for Miss Amy Nohouse. She is on the line. She's on the Zoom, so if you have any questions for her, she's available.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Miller.
Yeah, the standing question: how did you hear about our program, Ms. Nohouse?
I'm a teacher for School City. I teach students with autism at Scott Middle School.
Okay, but how did you hear about our program?
Oh, like the specific program? One of the principals at my school informed me about it when I first started teaching in Hammond.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
Are you a first-time home buyer?
Yes.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions for Ms. Nohouse?
No, thank you for buying a home in Hammond.
I'm very excited. Thank you, guys.
Mr. President, I make a motion to approve the homebound conditional forgivable loan for Ms. Amy Nohouse at 7211 Tennessee Avenue.
I second that.
Second.
We all second it.
We're all happy.
Yay!
Yeah, very good. Yeah, it's good to see people from other communities buying properties here in Hammond. Okay, we have a motion then and a second on the floor. That's for the homebound conditional forgivable loan for Amy Nohouse at 7211 Tennessee Avenue. If there's no further questions or discussion. Okay, roll call.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
yes,
Casperky,
yes,
Myricks,
yes,
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes. Congratulations,
congratulations.
Ms. Nohouse. If you want to sign off, you can. If not, if you want to stay on the air, that's fine too. But thank you and taking the time to join in.
Thank you so much, everybody.
All righty, have a great night.
You too.
All right, number 6, subordination request approval. For Lester Morrow, Queen at 538 169th Street.
Yes, Mr. President, Levita Sparks Way United Neighborhoods Incorporated. And we received a request for subordination from Mr. Merriquin. Please forgive the fact that he's not on this call. This is my first one, and I failed to inform him of the meeting. He purchased the home under NSP 3 February 28th of 2018, and he is refinancing with Freedom Mortgage in the amount of $117,732. They had an interesting narrative in regards to our request for an appraised value for the home, citing their regulations in regards to the value that they use is the original cost per their guidelines. And so they use the original value from the initial mortgage, which was at $137,000. He is not getting any money back, but I'd be remiss to note that in regards to the 80% of the debt to value ratio at the $137,000 value, that 80% is $109,600, which is slightly less than, slightly more than the 80%. But at the assessed value from the county, the assessed value of the home is $158,700, and 80% of that is $126,960. So his refinanced mortgage is at $117,732.
So he's on.
I believe the guideline. Well, I believe the guidelines are the first and the second not to exceed 80%. So what's the amount of the second mortgage that he owes the city right now?
The second mortgage that he owed the city is at, I believe it's at 14.5. And his.
So that's gonna put him somewhere near 90%, even if we use the assessed value.
Correct.
Here we go with our exceptions, commissioners.
well, Wally, you're the former banker, we're gonna go with, I don't have.
I made this, I kind of put the line out there. I mean, our first guideline, we've already exceeded. I mean, we'd be checking the box no on the first 80% loan to value or total loan to value.
Members of the commission, if I may have the opportunity to speak on this matter.
Go ahead.
I definitely understand, and as many of you know, I am a stickler for rules and regulations, and I definitely understand the importance of it. I would just say that as this commission, you do have the opportunity to review it on a case-by-case basis and see if if this complies with the overall objective of some of the programs as far as to increase home ownership within the city of Hammond. And at any point in time, if you see that something is in the guidelines that maybe we need to tweak, we can look into tweaking it. You always are able to make an exception, or you are able to follow the rules as stated.
Well, normally, you know, when Wally comes up with this, I'm like, you know, let's make an exception. But I'm with Wally again. When do we stop making the exceptions? Because after a while, like he says, why do we have rules and guidelines?
Or
I understand he's dropping his percent by almost 3 points, 2.875. I get that. But again, you know, when do we say, hey, you know, these are the rules, and quit making exceptions? That's just my point of view.
And I definitely understand that. I definitely respect that point. And so I think maybe, I mean, it may be a time for us to sort of revisit some of the regulations that we have for the programs and see if it's time for us to revise those. As I stated, it's definitely up to the pleasure of this commission to do as you would want to. But that may be, if we're seeing that we have to grant a lot of exceptions, we have to grant a lot of exceptions, and they seem to be for some of the same things, then it may be time for staff to internally review some of the policies and procedures as they pertain to our programs. I
think we should do that. Because like I say, normally I'm like, oh, Wally, you know, you making a big deal. Let's go. But not this time. I'm starting to feel like, hey, you know, when does it end?
Understandable.
I agree with you both. However, I think that we need to talk about the policies and the procedure and all that. And in the meantime, I feel that we should be able to go forward with this subordination request. But that's my opinion.
Okay. Well, Commissioner Presley, since that's how you feel, why don't you make the motion?
I make a motion to move forward and accept the subordination request approval for Lester Marukin, 538 169th Street.
I'll second it. Go ahead. Second.
Okay, you have a motion and a second. That's for the subordination request approval for Lester Marukin at 538 169th Street. I appreciate everybody's some discussion there and input. Is there any more questions or input before we take a vote?
I have a comment before we move on. I think it's very important in view of the past conversations that we've had about situations like this, that we kind of schedule a time to have the conversation before another situation of this sort comes up.
Agree.
What did you say? You agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I agree.
I think it's, but we always talk about it and we never do it. We kind of need to schedule a conversation and have that conversation so that the next time this situation comes up, we're kind of better prepared.
So what I'll probably do is ask Attorney Westland if we can do this in a executive session.
No,
No.
no, but here's what I was going to suggest. So it seems like, and staff would have a better idea than I would, but it appears that it's kind of the same exceptions keep coming up. And I think you could probably trace what are the main things that you're making exceptions on. And you know, I think Wally's point for a while has been like, if I keep making exceptions to the rule, then I really don't have a rule. So my point would be, go back and look at what have staff look at what we've made exceptions on. Clearly loan to value is one of them. And propose the rule changes to the program, you know, for even a next agenda item for the next meeting. And then the redevelopment commission can vote on whether or not they want to change those rules or not. And we'll just take them one by one, right? Like if there's 5 rules that we give exceptions to typically, then let's just take them one by one and see where everybody's at with making the suggested change. And if 3 commissioners are in favor of making the change, then the program rule gets changed. If it doesn't, if we don't, then I guess we're back to kind of where we're at now, which is nobody's really satisfied with. So that's kind of what I would suggest.
I agree.
I'm in favor of
I
that.
also agree.
I think,
Mhm.
haven't we had, if it's not an executive session right before a meeting, I thought we've had some meetings. Yeah, I know there was once or twice at that old building off of Conkey there, if I'm not mistaken, but could we do it something like that in that format, Attorney Westland?
You could call it a study session, but I really think there's only going to be between 2 and 5 rules that are really, that you're making exceptions to all the time.
So they need to be revisited.
Right.
They
So
do.
loan to value is one of them, right? And I think you could do it in the middle of, just make it an agenda point, and each one's going to take a couple minutes for you to kind of assess how the majority feels, and then someone will make a motion to amend the rule, either the program to that rule or not, and we just kind of move on from there. But and if anyone's got anything specific, then I would encourage them to get it to Africa and staff, and kind of see, she can look back and see what we've given exceptions for in the past.
I like that. I think under a study session though, I would prefer, but yeah, that sounds very good. And that would be good for our body here.
I agree. And my motion stands.
Okay. No, I was getting to that. Is there any more discussion or questions? Okay, then there is a motion and a second on the floor. That's why it's called a vote here. So roll call, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperkey,
No,
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 4 yes and 1 no. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You're welcome.
And to the rest of the board, I'm sorry.
All right, it's good to see you, Lavita. Thank you.
Well, you as well, sir. And I do have a Hammond address.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We have a great mayor. He made you move over to our side.
Absolutely, I agree wholeheartedly.
Okay. Number 7's approval of proposal for asbestos removal work at 740 River Drive.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find a proposal for asbestos removal for the work at 740 River Drive. As you may remember, this commission did approve a demolition contract for that was granted to JM Industrial Services for the demolition of 740. Upon review, they noticed that, or upon their due diligence, they realized that the asbestos removal was not done. I believe the environmental was done. And so at this time, what is before this commission is a scope of work for the removal of asbestos for $12,800. We do have a representative from JM Industrial on the Zoom call at this time. If you have any further questions or any questions or comments for JM Industrial.
so we approved asbestos removal
No.
a while back, and it wasn't done, and now we're revisiting it?
No, we approved the demolition for the building. It's located at 740 River Drive. But in that, the asbestos removal was not done prior to the demolition work. And I believe at the time that the bid was done, and Carrie from JM Industrial is on the call. I believe at the time that the bids were taken, I don't know if when the contract was approved, the asbestos removal aspect of it was not, the asbestos removal and disposal was not included in the original contract.
So did we drop the ball on that, on not having that done, or did the accepted bid drop the ball?
I just don't believe it was put in it wasn't put in the specs. So I don't know if necessarily where, I believe when they looked at it, they thought that asbestos removal was done. I can do some more due diligence as far as to see, but I guess my answer would be, I don't know if in the specs it stated that. But Carrie, you're on the call. Do you have any further insight regarding this? If you're still on mute.
Okay. Hi, I'm Carrie Prokop from JM. At the time of, when the bid package was presented, the only thing that was included was an analysis request, which was just a sheet of paper, basically handwritten with the number of samples they took, but no actual findings. So there would be no way for us to determine at that time, what would have to be removed. So it was just an request form and showing how many samples they took, but the actual report saying what would need to be removed before demolition was not included. So at the time that Africa let us know that the contract was being awarded for the demolition, then we requested the clearance letter for the removal work because we assumed then you guys took care of it because it wasn't provided at the time of the bid. So when we figured out that it has not been done, we got a quote to remove it.
So commissioners, this is the new and improved change order, but so the person who did the testing, in my simple layman's analysis, is the one who dropped the ball, in my opinion.
I don't know. At this point, does it really matter who dropped the ball?
Well, no, at this point, it doesn't, other than.
Because it just needs to be done.
No, it needs to be done now. On that, I fully agree. Yeah, that's my comment.
I drove by there yesterday wondering what was going on with that too. So when I saw it, I'm like, oh, okay. That's why they haven't done anything with it. Well, if no one else has any questions or concerns, I'll make a motion for the approval of the proposal for the asbestos removal at 740 River Drive.
I second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of the proposal for asbestos removal work at 740 River Drive. Let's have a roll call, please.
Talmadge,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Okay, number 8's determination of compliance with the plan for downtown Hammond Urban Renewal District number 1 for 415 Sibley for a mixed-use development.
Mr. President, can you hear me okay?
Yes, welcome, Mr. Poland. Thank you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I was having a little bit technical problems. We do have a representative from the developer, but I see on the screen that he's kind of caught in this connecting to audio loop.
I'd seen a gentleman earlier. Was that him?
Yeah, Connor Hinks. I don't know if you've been able to totally link in or not. At any rate, if pending that technical glitch, if I can just go forward on their behalf. And this is an interesting project that we have for our downtown nominally at an address of 415 Sibley Street. It does include a couple of additional properties at the northeast corner of Homan Avenue and Sibley. You would most know it as the location of the J.C. Penney building or the Hotel Jefferson and a couple of other parcels. The proposed project is for the construction of a 5-story building with 6,000 square feet of commercial space on the first floor. And the upper floors, the 4 upper floors will have 54 residential units. The residential units will be a mix of studios, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units. The expected investment is around $12.5 million. And hopefully there will be an expected 20 permanent jobs in the commercial space. The project is located in the downtown #1 urban renewal area. One of the things in evaluating that that plan, there was it took me a while to kind of decide or determine where the boundaries were of these different sub-districts that are within that plan. This particular project does actually fall in the District A, which is referred to as Office and Commercial District. And some of those criteria does include having permitted uses of retail stores and offices and traditional commercial activities that is in keeping with the first floor of this proposed development. And then I was able to find that the plan also talks about having multi-story buildings, multi-use developments, which generally speaking, that's what this proposal is referring to. As far as the Redevelopment Commission had passed a declaratory resolution in January of this year to establish a separate TIF allocation area that pretty much corresponds to the boundaries of this project. That amending declaratory passed through the Planning Commission and the City Council, and I do believe the confirmatory resolution went through public hearing, but we had it tabled and it has not been approved. So one of the things that's in that amending declaratory resolution is some additional language that would relate to this project and kind of help correlate with the existing language in this proposed language. The project will require additional approval from the Board of Zoning Appeals to allow for that upper floor residential. There's also an alley in question that is needs to be vacated, and they're working through those processes. So the staff recommends that the Redevelopment Commission make a determination that the proposed use is in compliance with the Urban Renewal Plan, subject to the Redevelopment Commission's approval of the confirmatory resolution, the approval of the conditional use by the Board of Zoning Appeals, and the approval of the alley vacation by the City Council, and the subsequent release of the utility easement rights. And I don't know if, Connor, you've ever fixed your audio problem or not? Okay.
Well, I appreciate it.
My only question on this is, I don't fully understand why we're revisiting it in that we already approved it, but I have no problem with it. I just don't understand why it's in the packet again. But like I say, I'm not against it. It was an exciting project before, and it still sounds like one.
Yeah, it's following the necessary steps that we have to go through in the approval process.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Like I say, that was my comment.
Yes, Brian, I appreciate your overview of the project. Normally, project manager or someone from Madison or somebody would have an opportunity to speak, and you're right. I thought I saw somebody, but it's fine. I'm real familiar with this one, and your update and overview over this is good with me. So I don't know if anybody has any other additional comments or questions, or if somebody from Madison is on, they can speak as well too.
It looks like he might have just clicked on, but he's muted.
Yeah, Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Apologize about that.
Is your name Connor, I saw?
He's still muted.
Oh,
Oh, now he's unmuted.
his name was Connor, correct, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. Well, Connor, Mr. Poland gave an overview of everything. I don't know if you want to add any more to this presentation. You can, but if you're having difficulties, I think the commission here feels pretty good. So anybody wants to entertain a motion, if there's no questions, you may do so.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for the approval.
Second.
I didn't finish it.
Okay, then I withdraw my second.
Recorded. You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6.
Wally's in a hurry.
You are unmuted.
Let me make this quick. I'd like to make a motion for the determination of compliance with the plan for the downtown Hammond Urban Renewal District Number 1 for 415 Sibley for a mixed-use development.
Now, is it okay, Greg?
Yes.
Then I second.
Thank you.
Mr. Myricks, was that to include the 3 conditions subject to?
Subject to the 3 conditions, yes. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I was just gonna say that. Thank you.
Wally.
Do you have a second with the 3 conditions, Wally? Is that your
Yes.
second?
Yes.
Okay. All right, fair enough. We have a motion and a second. If there's no further questions or discussion, and roll call.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casbricky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Thank you, Mr. Follen. You can just reach out to Connor there, and we appreciate it. All right, number 9 is approval of recommendation to sell 403 State Street.
Members of the commission, if you look in your packet, you will find, or there should be, a proposal that was recently submitted for the purchase of 403 State Street, which is owned by the Redevelopment Commission. Staff has had an opportunity to meet with the developer, which is Three Corners Development. The purpose of them acquiring this property is for parking for the aforementioned residential development. We're very excited. This is our first residential development within the city of Hammond. So this just goes hand in hand with the previous agenda item. So at this time, staff would like to make, definitely like to make a recommendation for the favorable sale of 403 State Street for the amount as stated in the proposal for $7,200.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's the approval of the recommendation to sell 403 State Street for $7,200. Let's have a roll call then.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casbricky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes with 5 yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 05-2021, a resolution of Hammond Redevelopment Commission concerning the 2022 budget year determination for tax increment for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission allocation areas.
Members of the commission, at this time, we have Carl Sender on the call to further explain this resolution for this commission concerning the 2022 budget year determination for tax increment for the Hammond Redevelopment Commission allocation areas. So at this time, Mr. Sender, if you would like to unmute yourself, which I see that you've done, and just give us a little bit more explanation regarding this.
Sure. Thanks, Ms. Tarver. Members of the commission, you may recall annually we need to make a determination whether we have any excess increment that we could release assessed value back to the affected taxing units. And due to the number of projects that you have currently going on, as well as bonds that are supported by tax increment, we've determined there is no excess incremental value that can be released at this time. And this resolution just needs to have action prior to June. And we just decided we'd put it on your agenda today, along with the annual report that we're going to be presenting at the next item. So this is just pretty customary what we've been doing. We take a look and see if there's any available. And since there's not, then this resolution just formalizes that action.
I have no questions. That being said, I move for the approval of resolution 05-2021.
Second.
Okay, very good. We have a motion and a second. That's for resolution 05-2021. Can we get a roll call then, please?
Omich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Kasperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hawkridge.
Yes, motion passes. 5 yes. Okay, number 11 is approval of the annual report of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for the year ending December 31st, 2020.
Mr. President, if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and just give you a brief summary and the members of the commission of this annual report. The statute requires that the Redevelopment Commission present with the unit's executive and fiscal body, being the Common Council, an annual report that just really summarizes the activities of the Redevelopment Commission for the previous year. And if your acceptance of this report tonight, it will be forwarded on to Council President, as well as the mayor and members of the council. Basically, the first several pages of the report, pages 3 and 4, is just really kind of a summary of meetings of the commission, the commission officers, summary of the commission staff, consultants. Page 4 has a summary of the tax increment that was collected from each of the allocation areas. And the next several pages is a summary of the debt and amount of principal and interest payments. We get to pages 8 through 10 as a summary of the various financials, beginning fund balance, revenues, disbursements, ending balance for each of the redevelopment allocation funds. Then on page 10 is a summary of your resolutions that were approved during this last year. And then the final section is listed as Exhibit A, is a requirement that we list all the parcels by each individual allocation area that shows what the gross assessed value, the net assessed value, the base, the incremental assessed value. And these parcels will also be uploaded into the Department of Local Government Finance's gateway website that will have these listing of the parcels. So that was just really a quick overview. This is something that we do each year. I'm happy to answer any questions of the commission. If there are no questions, I think it would be in order for the commission to at least approve this report tonight.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of the annual report of the Hammond Redevelopment Commission for the year ended December 31st, 2020.
Second.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. That's for the approval of the annual report of Hammond Redevelopment Commission for the year ending December 31st, 2020. Is there any further questions for Mr. Sender? Okay, roll call then, please.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes, motion passes 5 yes. Thank you, Mr. Sender.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Number 12 is our reports. Ms. Africa Tarver, would you like to share anything tonight?
I just wanted to thank the commission for their willingness to help move various projects forward with the city of Hammond. I definitely appreciate the steps that were taken tonight regarding the first residential development within the downtown area of the city of Hammond. I don't want to let too much of the cat out the bag, but you'll be hearing some more announcements that we're working on a lot of positive things now. So there's a lot of good things forthcoming for the city of Hammond.
Yay.
Thank you, Africa.
Yeah, yes, indeed. There's always seems like something's going on and a lot of moving parts. So we appreciate your staff too, Africa, for all you do.
Thank you so much.
I'm not sure if Levita's still on or Awana, if anybody else, would you like to share anything tonight?
No, sir.
No, sir,
Okay.
neither here. Well, you know what? We do have one announcement. We will be showcasing 6020 Holman, the historical property in downtown Hammond that we renovated, we rehabbed. And we're going to be coming out with an invite for everyone to come out and see that property. It is actually already sold. And we'd like for you all to see the work that was done in it prior to it being sold and turned over to the new homeowner. So we
That would
will
be
be
great.
sending, absolutely, we will be sending out invites.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sounds good. All right. I think that concludes our reports then. Number 13 is our bills, register of claims.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to pay the register of claims for March 11th, 2021 through March 3rd, 2000. Did I say that right?
I think it's 31st.
31st, I'm sorry, 31st, 2021. Register of claims R59702 through R59756 inclusive.
I think it's R59760. You left off the 0.
R597, it's not R59756. Oh, okay.
0.
Okay.
Left off the 0.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you. I stand corrected.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion then and a second. That's for the register of claims dating March 11th, 2021 through March 31st, 2021. That is claim R59702 through claim R59760. Is there any questions or discussion on these claims for staff? Okay, then roll call on the claims.
Tomich,
Yes.
Soto Presley,
Yes.
Casperky,
Yes.
Myricks,
Yes.
Hopperidge.
Yes. Motion passes 5 yes. Okay, brings us to number 14, new and unfinished business. Is there anything tonight, Ms. Tarver or Mr. Westland?
Tony, I have two items. There were some requests for quotes that we sent out on two different projects, and I just want to read the results of these into the record. And I know staff is reviewing them. But the first project was the replacement of the fence along Columbia Avenue, which is we had sent out a request for quotes and different fencing companies, and we received three responses. The first one was from Reeves Fence Service, Inc. And the job that we asked them to quote was taking down the existing fence, hauling it away, and putting up like an eco stone fence or similar type of fencing material. Thought that might stand the test of time better than kind of the PVC fence did. The first response was from Reeves Fence Services, Inc. Their response was that their cost would be $77 a foot to put the fence in. Additionally, any end posts would be $224. And if we wanted to put a gate in, it would be $872 for a 4x6 foot walking gate. I would, if I had the linear feet, I would do the math for you and tell you what that works out to, but I don't have that offhand. The second response was from All Type Fence Company located in Hammond, and their response was a flat $230,000. And then the last one I'm struggling with was from Hammond Fence, and they quoted $185,000. So I think originally we had estimated that this would be below the $150,000 threshold. So we're going to have to kind of look at all three of these quotes. The second project was a roof. A roof replacement or roof repair at the Hammond Boxing Club, which is owned by the Redevelopment Commission at 250 Ogden Street. The first response was from Gluth Builders located in Hammond to do a complete replacement. They quoted $135,278. The alternate was, there's two roofs. There's an upper roof and a lower roof. The alternate quote we wanted was replacement of the upper roof and repairs to the lower roof, and they quoted $85,480.
You say that was from Ruth?
Gluth.
Oh, Gluth, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I get my.
No, I think you did. It's me.
Second response was from Corellis. They quoted on the roof replacement, complete replacement, $113,002. And then on the alternative where the upper roof would be replaced and the repairs to the lower roof, $62,933.
What was the first figure again, Dave? On the upper, or I mean the lower?
For Corellis?
Yeah.
113,002.
Thanks.
And then there's the last one. from J&F Chitello Construction located in Dyer. Get this thing up. So sorry, this one's sealed so well. Apparently, they don't even want me to see it. On this one, the roof replacement was $154,273, and the alternate upper roof replacement with repairs to the lower roof was $87,999. So I wanted to get that in the record that we received those responses to the request for quotes, and I'm sure staff is going to have a recommendation for you by your next meeting. I know Mr. Tyler's on the line, and was very interested in that first response. So,
yeah, if I can say a few words.
Welcome, Councilman Tyler.
Thanks for having me. As you guys probably are aware, that fence is in pretty bad shape. I still consistently get phone calls about it, and not just from the residents that live over there, but from people passing by too. So I'm glad that we are readdressing it. I do believe that under the new ordinance, I am able to contribute to this project too. So you all will not be footing this bill alone. I do want to show that I have some stake in this as well. So I know we will figure out which quote to go with, and then you guys will let me know costs, and we'll figure all of that out on the back end. But excited that we'll hopefully have a new fence up along that stretch of Columbia Avenue sometime over the next few months.
That would be great. Yeah. I mean, the vinyl fence, it served its time. It was nice, like Attorney Weston said, but it is somewhat of an eyesore in patches, so it is much needed to enhance that area.
Yeah, and the proposed replacement that I know we are looking at is similar to what they have on Calumet Avenue down in Dyer. I forget what subdivision or what area that is specifically, but I think it'll look great in this part of Hammond, and it'll hold up nicely, better than that vinyl. That, I mean, and like you said, it served its purpose. It's been up there for, I'm guessing, what, 20 maybe plus more years. So hopefully this will last just as long, if not longer.
Okay. Yes. Well, thank you for zooming in today. All right. Is that anything else, Attorney Westland? I think that's, you just mentioned those two projects.
no, I just wanted to get those read into the record.
Right. Okay. Very good. Look forward to hearing from staff on those for a future agenda meeting then. All right. Number 15 then is public comment. Public comment is open now. If anybody's listening, you have 3 minutes. You can speak now.
I don't know if you guys can hear me. My name's Kenneth Rowland. I'd like to speak, please.
Sure, go ahead.
I don't know if you can see me, if I have everything on right. I don't know, but I guess you can hear me. So
We can see you.
Yeah.
We can see you.
Okay, good enough. Thank you. I was called on here for about the Hammond Homebound project, and back when I came to Hammond, I've been here almost, well, going on 5 years, because apparently that's for 5 years. And I was going to refinance, and then I found out through a lot of red tape or whatever, that apparently it hasn't been 5 years, so I can't refinance until this is off my title or something. And in order to get this off, it was like 8 months more, and they would have forgiven that homebound loan money or whatever you call it. Forgive me for my not exact words, but so now I can't refinance yet until that's done. So apparently I was told that I can go down and pay $500 and something to get this off so I can refinance, but yet I'm not moving and I'm just refinancing and I'm not taking any cash out on my home or anything like that. I'm just trying to lower my payment, but yet this is still standing. And I was told that maybe I could come on here and speak to you guys, I guess, about this and see what happens. Thank you for letting me speak.
All right, thank you. Usually something like that will refer to staff, and if you kind of listen to the other thing, we may have a study session and we possibly could revisit something like this, but if those are the guidelines and rules, you know, we try to stay within that, but we'll refer this to staff.
Did your new mortgage company want you totally for that second mortgage to be gone? Or would a subordination request, which is what we've been dealing with for a long time, would that be sufficient?
I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, sir. Forgive me. All I know is I was going to try to refinance, and this is stopping me. And if I don't go pay the 500 something, I can't move forward with refinancing. I don't know what else to say, except I know it's in you guys' hands. I'm still living in Hammond. I want to stay in Hammond, but I'm not selling my home and I'm not cashing out. So I kind of don't understand the reason that 8 months from now, everything is okay, but right now it's not. I didn't know that that was a stipulation on refinancing. I don't know what that hinders Hammond in any way, shape, or form. It helps me to stay here actually, but I was, like I said, I'm just bringing this up because I didn't know how to handle it. And $545 is quite a bit of money coming out of my pocket just so I can go refinance, plus all the other fees. So I'm sorry, I probably didn't even answer your question correctly. Forgive me. I don't know.
Tony.
Go ahead. Yes, go ahead, Attorney Westland.
So this is kind of what we were getting at before. And
Right.
I think, you know, there's probably a difference. The homebound, you know, and I don't want Mr. Rowland to have to reveal, you know, his personal stuff right now. So that's why I think you're right that if, you know, Africa could have somebody from staff talk to him and get the particulars of, you know, the value of the house, what the refinance would be, and sort of those sort of things, we might be able to better specifically answer his question. But in the homebound situation, I would just ask Mr. Rowland, that was initially a $2,500 or a $3,500 incentive that you received from the city?
Yes, sir.
So for your study session, right, I think it's different on the homebound program where somebody's receiving that $2,500 or the $3,500 for that program. I think you've got to think about the fact that, you know, you're encouraging folks to move to Hammond, and then, you know, now we've had these historically low rates. We want them to stay in Hammond, right? Like, so, the amount shouldn't be the only indicator, but, you know, when you guys give that $2,500 or $3,500 homebound program, it's really a down payment kind of assistance thing going on. So
that's right.
I would just, you know, when we have our study session and we talk about this, I think there's folks like Mr. Rowland, and I think his situation, at least what he's described now, is different than the one you guys were looking at before, because that was $14,000 that was owed to the city. That there should have been some portion of it that was repaid, whereas this was more, while it's a loan, if he would in 5 years move or pass on or title change, this $2,500 or $3,500, the ones you guys approve routinely month after month for the folks that are moving into Hammond, I mean, that's a grant, really. I mean, let's call it what it is. That's really like an incentive for them to move here because we want them here.
Forgive me, it kind of makes me feel like I'm being punished for refinancing because I want to stay here. And I appreciate the loan, I did, but that was part of the enticement to move to Hammond. I came from the Chicago area because I wanted away from all the extra finances, whatever, and it did help me, and I appreciated that. But for refinancing, it makes me feel like I'm being kind of punished. I want to stay in my home. I want to, lower my payment because I want to stay. I have a good home, and I've invested probably another 20 to 30,000 in the bathroom remodel and air and central, and it's a beautiful home here. It's
and it's possible that the same thing we talk about, a simple subordination agreement from our commission would satisfy your lender. It's possible the lender wasn't posed the right, question.
If I understand that correctly, that subordination, I think, was where if I did that and maybe wouldn't have to pay that back, that was upon if I go get my house, reappraised, which is still going to be $400 or $500. And I know my home is worth well more than what it was originally, and I'm not taking any cash out. Forgive me, I'm not getting all this. It's just I got to go pay somebody, it seems like, and then everybody's happy.
So members of the commission, if at this point in time, if I could say a few things, this is one of the situations, as Attorney Westland has stated, that at this time, it's come to staff's attention that we need to sort of revisit some of the terms and conditions of our programs. Definitely, we want to encourage residents to move in as well as to stay in the city of Hammond. We don't want someone to feel like they're penalized because they're trying to refinance, especially because rates are at historic lows. So this is one of the things also that would go before we would talk about in the study session, to sort of look at some of the programs and see if they're really effectively doing what they were designed to do. And this would be one of the things that would be brought before you as well, to revise some of the guidelines of the existing programs.
I can certainly understand taking cash out or something like that. I would understand fully that I should pay that back. I mean, I would never disagree, but I'm just trying to better myself. I'm not asking for money, and I just want to stay. I would think would be one of the exclusions to your program, if I may say so.
Well, if I may comment as well, I agree. I think, things have changed. And I think this is going to happen again because of the historical low rates. And again, so he should not be penalized. But as we were saying earlier, we need to revise some of the way we do things because things are changing. So we don't want you to feel, Mr. Rowland, that you're being penalized. It's just that things have changed in the, 4.5 years since you purchased your property. And that's all it really is. So as you've been on the call since I've been on the call. So you've heard all of, when we're discussing. And so, if it was up to me, I was like, let's let it go. But it's not up to me like that. We do have rules, we do have regulations, and we will address these things, and hopefully we can get this resolved for you.
If I may say one last thing, then I understand you guys have the procedures and all that. I understand that. But in the meantime, should I just let this go? Or because I don't want to miss the opportunity to lower my monthly payment. It's only 1%, but it helps me by, $100 a month. And
right.
I don't know how long this step might take, and it may not even be in my favor, to be honest. So I didn't know what I should do. What's your opinion to me?
Well, I'm not an attorney. You got to talk to Attorney Westland for that part of the legal.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Unfortunately, because I cannot predict what the commission is going to do, I can't give you advice. I think there's a strong possibility that this would get worked out in a manner that is you would like, but I can't in good conscience tell you, because if it doesn't, right, I can tell you that from what I've heard, the staff and the commission are going to take a hard look at this before their next meeting and take a look at, what our program guidelines are. But they're the ones that ultimately decide. If it were up, to me, I know how I would vote, but I don't get a vote for good reason, because sometimes they disagree with me. So I'm gonna lay it out for them and kind of give them the pros and cons, and I think we'll have an answer in a couple weeks. So I guess my advice to you, while I'm not offering legal advice, I would tell you maybe hang fire for 2 weeks and let's see how this turns out.
And we,
Well, I
we do meet
appreciate
again in
that.
2 weeks, so hopefully the problem can be solved by then.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your input and I'm not holding you anything, but I thank you for your time. I do.
Yeah, thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you, Ms. Rowland.
All righty. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Africa.
All right, that was Mr. Rowland. We appreciate his comments. Is anybody else listening that wants to speak? Public comment is still open. Okay, public comment is closed. Guess brings us to number 16.
Mr. President, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can you all signify by aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night. Stay safe.
Good night, everyone.